in each of the first two Final Fours, we didn't get past the semifinal game. So that last year, just making it past the semifinal game, and it was so hard because Illinois Wesleyan was tremendous, and we needed a great game.
When it came down to it, it's a pick and roll play. I rolled to the basket, a shot went up.
Dasher with the basketball, top of the circle, drives inside the paint, gives off to Lamont Harmon, up strong, his shot's no good. Tip in from Demetrius, pulls, it's good! 8.5 seconds left. Rowan has a 1-point lead.
Because we had the psychological barrier we hadn't gotten over, and because we felt Illinois Wesleyan was the best team there, other than ourselves, then that became the biggest game. We had gotten to the Final Four twice. We needed to win.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Salem Civic Center in Salem, Virginia. In tonight's NCAA Division III National Championship game, it's the Rowan College Props and the Hope College Flying Dutchman.
During the 1990s, Rowan captured 3 New Jersey Athletic Conference championships and made 8 trips to the NCAA tournament, which included 3 visits to the Final Four. But the seeds for dominance in the 90s were planted in the early 80s by new school president Dr. Herman James.
Athletics, to me, helped to create what you would call an esprit de corps on the campus. It brings us together. And when I became president, I said, basically, we're going to do whatever we can to help turn the situation around, so they help to create a campus life.
Early in the hiring process, one candidate stood out from the rest of the possibilities, a young assistant from the University of Illinois, Dr. John Giannini.
I was overly impressed. I mean, he was just a very bright young man and very dedicated.
He had experience. He had worked in a high-powered program, and so we were willing to give him a shot.
He was very personable. He cared about you more than just a basketball player. He cared about your family. He cared about your brothers, sisters. He cared about you as a human being first, and that's what attracted a lot of the talent that he got around here.
And also the idea of trying to work with potential D1 players who would go away and then would find eventually some that they wanted to come back home and play closer to home, and they would end up choosing Glassboro State and, of course, later on Rowan.
I played at St. Joseph's University for 3 years, and then I came here for 1 year, and then that's where we had a great run and won that national championship.
For Dr. John Giannini, Glassboro State was the perfect home to lay a strong foundation towards a successful career as a collegiate head coach.
I was really shocked at its potential, and I remember thinking track had won 5 national championships, soccer had won a national championship, baseball had won national championships, and I just looked at the area and all the talent in the area. I looked at the size of the school and the campus, and I thought it was a sleeping giant.
The question was, could a young coach wake up the potential giant from hibernation?
It wasn't a one-year thing. It was getting to be tops in the conference, getting to the NCAA tournament, getting to the Final Four, and then getting to that final night. And it was a long road doing it.
But the 96 team was overwhelming with offensive talent, especially. That was an overwhelmingly offensively talented team.
We had double practices every day for like 2-3 weeks at 6 in the morning and 6 at night. And what we were really doing was laying a culture of work and of setting our goals high.
Their mission was to win the national championship, and beating Illinois Wesleyan was probably the biggest chunk of the mission.
But for 4 years in a row, we were ranked #1 in the country at some point. But in each of the first 2 Final Fours, we didn't get past the semifinal game.
Getting over that hurdle, the psychological hurdle of that was huge, but then also beating the team that we felt was the best team there, made it, even doubly important.
The big thing with the 95-96 team is it was truly incredibly talented, and it was put together, frankly, to win a national championship.
The 96 team had an unbelievable amount of talent and an unbelievable amount of depth. I mean, we were bringing guys off the bench that would have started for over 90% of the teams in the country.
When you're picked the #1 team in the country before the season starts, there's only really one clear goal, and that's to finish #1.
After the Illinois Wesleyan game, it was a combination of being ecstatic but also being relieved because, like I said, we didn't get to the final game when we went in 93 and we went in 95.
That Illinois Wesleyan game was a monster. And it was kind of hard to let your guard down because you knew you just beat a huge team, a great team.
But the first 15 minutes of that basketball game is incredible basketball. At the 15-minute mark, the score was 35-34. Both teams were running up and down. Both teams were playing incredible basketball. I mean, there was great talent on the floor, both teams. I mean, it was just a fabulous Division III basketball game to watch. You cannot find 15 minutes of Division III basketball that'll be as good as that game was.
The game was deadlocked throughout and featured a multitude of lead changes. The Profs took a 47-45 lead into halftime. The captain had one message for his teammates at the half.
This was it. This is what we worked all season for. This is what I worked for 3 years for, to try to get to this point.
We had never gone that far before. We had never won on the first Friday of the Final Four. And it just gave us a lot of confidence and put us at ease going into the championship game.
But you still was unfinished business. But we still kept focused for the Hope game because our mission wasn't completed yet. The mission was to complete the national championship Final Four circuit as #1.
It's kind of situation though, because Division III where you play back-to-back nights. It's not like you can go out and celebrate. I mean, you have to get ready for the next night, so there's no time off in between.
In terms of getting the body ready, it was kind of hard to recover. Guys were hurting. We had injuries all through. It was just overcoming the last hurdle, and the hurdle was for all the marbles, and we weren't giving up that at all.
He goes up. He lays it in. 0.4 seconds left. Rowan College leads 98-93. Hope inbound. Time expires. For the first time in school history, the Rowan College men's basketball team claims a national championship.
When you win a national championship, it's such a rare thing that people always remember it. The people who are on the staff and the managers and the players, we have those memories and friendships the rest of our lives. The school has that banner up the rest of their life. In fact, when you drive into Glassboro, it still says, there's a sign on 322 that says home of the 1996 national championship Rowan basketball team. But the most important part that lasts are the personal memories. So we wanted to do something that would last. When you're the best in the country, it's something that no one ever forgets, whether it's the rings as a symbol, the banner as a symbol, the signs when you drive into town, or these anniversaries that we'll celebrate. Now the 20th, hopefully we'll celebrate the 25th and the 30th.
I give all the credit to Coach Giannini. It was John's idea. He proposed it to me.
4 years we've been talking about what do we do for the 20th anniversary. And Mark was visiting the area and sitting in my office, and while we were trying to come up with ideas, I was looking up at my marker board and our schedule, and then all of a sudden it was just one of those aha moments. I said, we have a game left, and I immediately knew it would really be an event because of the uniqueness of it.
And obviously, for an opportunity for a Division III team to play a Division I team, you always have to jump at the opportunity. But to have them come here is just totally unique. Getting the opportunity to play a Division I team happens so infrequently. I think it's, they're really going to be pumped up for the game. I think it'll really hit us as soon as the final buzzer sounds. I think that all these activities and reconnecting with people that we'll take after the game will actually take us by shock. If we were just going for a reunion or a banquet, we would be prepared for that. But we're going to be focused on this game and all of a sudden be thrust into this emotional reunion. And I think that's when it's really going to take us both by surprise. I know I'll be a bit overwhelmed at that point. It's like having a giant family reunion that you haven't had in 20 years and seeing people that you haven't seen in years and years and years. And a lot of these guys haven't seen each other since, they all finished school in '96. So, should be a lot of fun. I'll pass through the gym and I'll linger a little bit. I'll just remember what it was like to go to practice every day. This particular game, I think we actually have to play well in the game, so I'll be focused on that. But at other moments, I'm very nostalgic and reminiscent when I'm in SB Gym.
So I'm proud of what we've accomplished. I'm proud of what Coach G accomplished, and I'm proud of coming back and help put Rowan on the map.
Because, we just played together like one.
It brings back a lot of great memories that we had growing up, being young. So now that we're older now, we just cherish the moments even more.
Like you said, it's a family reunion basically here, but it's great to be back. A lot of memories, a lot of bad times, but the good times overweigh the bad times.
We developed like a real bond, like a brotherhood, and it showed when I did see them again. Like it was like we never left each other.
It was just good to see that everyone came back and the family that we built, is still there, and that the feeling of love is still there too. So it's just good to see everybody and celebrate it here at Rowan.